Hope Channel, changing lives.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, your favorite and preferred Christian station. I am always happy and excited to come your way to bring you stories upon stories, to allow us to have a very educational conversation, one that is insightful, one that we all learn from, one that inspires us, and also one that in some ways admonishes us of the things that we do. And today, as usual, we obviously have a story on the table. Before we go into our story, I'd like to remind you that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. Please join the conversation by leaving your comments under the comment section, and I will do my best to read some of your comments as we discuss today's story. I obviously have with me amazing panelists to discuss the story. I can't do this by myself, and so I will introduce them to you shortly. But before then, I'd like to ask, have you heard of this phrase, once a cheat, always a cheat? Do you agree with it? Do you think that a person can change? That is someone that has been unfaithful in a relationship. Do you believe they can change? Do you believe regardless of what they do, they'll continue to cheat on whoever they're in a relationship with? Also, we hear of red flags. People speak about it, you know. Oh, I saw this red flag and I entered the relationship. Or I saw a red flag and because of that, I'm not entering the relationship. Usually when we speak of red flags, these are signs that we see, signs that warn us of a person's character, of things that people do that we don't necessarily agree with. And so sometimes we see these signs and we still walk into relationships hoping that people will change. Can a person change? Do you think that people are capable of changing their ways after marriage? Or you believe that whatever character traits they exhibit in the relationship will continue or probably even get worse in the marriage? We have a story on our table today and we are going to make sure we do a good job with it. I would like to encourage you as well to send your story to us via our WhatsApp number or email address, Hope TV Ghana. You can even send it to our Instagram page or Facebook page, and then we will make sure that we find you the right people to have the good conversation. So going straight ahead, I'm going to introduce you to my panelists. I have with me in the studio Elder Webster Antiboche. Today is not his first day. He's been here before, and he's back again to share with us his thoughts on today's story. Elder, how are you doing?
Very fine.
I hope your week has been good.
Excellent, by grace.
Oh, we thank God. And the family?
Yeah, they are doing great.
We thank God. We thank God. Thank you so much for coming once
You're welcome.
And joining me virtually, I have Esther Dapa Forsen, all the way from Valley View University Campus, Techiman. Esther is also not a stranger to the screens of Real Talk. Esther, how are you doing? I think you're muted.
Really?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm doing great, TV. How are you too?
I'm very well, thank you. How is Techiman? How is the family? How is work?
Tachiman is cool. Very cold. Everybody is fine by His grace.
Yeah, we thank God. We thank God. Joining me all the way from the States, that will be Brockton, Massachusetts, Lincoln in Rhode Island, USA, is Pastor Samuel Apia. Pastor, good evening from my side. How are you doing and how is the family in the USA?
Good evening. We are all doing well by God's grace. Thanks for the invitation to be part of your panel this evening. By God's grace, we are all doing well. The sun is shining so well here, so we are enjoying Ghanaian weather today.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you so much for joining us. Ghana, or let me say Accra, has been cold, so we are also grateful that the sun is not burning us as much as it used to. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You know, this lady that sent her story said something that got me thinking. She said she's afraid of catching a deadly disease because of her womanizing husband. If it has gotten to the point where you are afraid for your health, that is a serious issue. And so we are going to try to have a conversation or a discussion that will come up with solutions on how to help you handle the situation. So I'll go straight ahead and read our story. It says, "Dear Real Talk, my husband is a chronic cheat. He likes everything in a skirt. We've been married for less than a year and I'm already fed up with his womanizing ways. He can't control himself even in my presence. He can be driving and turn to look at the back of a lady passing by the road. He is so flirtatious with my friends, even to the point of embarrassment. I keep complaining, but he does nothing about it. He uses the excuse of him being a very friendly person. There's a difference between being friendly and inappropriate. He's the kind of person who likes to joke by saying crude and sexual comments that makes me, the wife, cringe on the inside. I know people will say, didn't you see all these before getting married to him? Yes, I did. And I complained. He said he was single then and will stop and behave as a married man when we get married. I even complained to my mother, who told me every man has a wandering eye, but as long as he always comes home to me, I shouldn't destroy my home by nagging. My husband just doesn't have a wandering eye. He follows up and acts on his desires. He's had affairs with several women. I shake when I think of the things he's doing out there with other women. I want to threaten him with divorce because I'm scared he'll give me a deadly disease one of these days if I don't get up and act quickly. We don't have kids yet, so leaving will be relatively easy. Am I doing the right thing by wanting to leave? Can he be helped at all? What should I do?" This story is packed with so many questions. We are going to look at the angle of the red flags and obviously walking in and hoping that they'll change. We are also going to look at the fact that the man said, "Oh, I'm single and when I get married, I'll act as a married man." We will also discuss this thing that our parents, especially our mothers, tell us, that men have wandering eyes, but you know, don't nag him and he'll always come home to you, if it's really benefiting us or destroying us. We are also going to look at her threat for divorce, if that is the way to go. And we'll see if the man can be helped at all. And then obviously we will come up with some solutions that will help this couple solve their problem. Elder, I'll come to you first.
All right.
What came to mind when you heard this story? This lady going on and on about my husband, this, my husband. What came to mind?
Well, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. But before that, let me say hi to your viewers and your listeners.
Yeah.
And especially to my wife, my adorable wife,
Oh.
Mrs. Dr. Sidura Buche. You know, this story brings to mind a whole lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God we have solutions.
Yeah.
If only there's a will, there's a way. Yes. To start with, let me say that when you marry a problem, if if you are not careful, you might tend to be a nagger or a complainant, you know. But one thing I know is, if a purpose is not found in life, misuse is inevitable. And as a husband or a wife, knowing your purpose in life, and for the purpose of this discussion, knowing your purpose in marriage could go a long way to help you as to what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the greatest disservice one could do to self is to marry immaturely. When you are getting married and you yourself, you are not prepared for the marriage, you don't know what to do and what not to do in the marriage, it is a whole lot of problems. Because marriage in itself is not all about money, it's not all about looks. It's not all about the beauty or the handsomeness, but it's about your connection with God. It's about your mental fitness, psychological fitness, emotional fitness, and just to name a few, that could help you navigate yourself, manage yourself, and the excesses that comes with it.
Right.
If you don't do this, I think you always have issues in your marriage. When you read Proverbs 4 chapter 23, it is saying that guard your heart with all diligence, for out of the heart springs up the issues of life.
Right.
So if you do not guard our heart, if you do not guard what we do, I think it's a problem. As a Christian, there should be a day that you should sit down and weigh your heart to see whether it is still pure for God. Weigh your heart to see whether your Christian life is still on the radar of Christ.
Right.
And that could help you to seek God for reformation, for strength, and for guidance. Other than that, we will keep wandering up and down, and we might have a wandering eye. I don't understand why a married man should chase and even desire for himself all things in skirt. In fact, chronic cheater or a chronic cheat. It's kind of weird, but we are human.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, if only there's a will, there's always be a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But before I go to my virtual guest, you hear this thing that people say, oh, as for men, they'll always be cheats, Men, every man cheats. You hear these things. I want to ask, is it true, and should we accept it as the norm of the character of men, and so because of that, we give them a pass for cheating even in marriage?
Well, personally, I don't go for this general statement that all men are cheats. All men are not cheat.
Great.
Yeah, the truth is that cheating is as a result of uncontrolled desires and social pressures. Yeah, and watch this, men and women are naturally wired differently.
Yeah.
Women are more emotional than men.
Yep.
Yeah, so when you have intimacy with a woman, she becomes so attached to you. But to a man, there's nothing like attachment.
Okay.
If you like, no love.
Okay.
It is just by the physical release. That is what men are after in very many cases.
Yeah.
So men, this is a human tendencies. So if the man do not succumb to Christ and curtail this, grooming it in Christ, so that God will take over that carnal nature, then this man could keep jumping from one woman to the other. So it's not our nature, but that is how we are wired.
Right.
We are not satisfied with what we have because we are visual and logical, and women are emotional. So they attach emotions to everything, but we are visual and logical. So the emotions are limited, and if you like, not at all. So it is not that all men cheat, but we have that tendencies in us. We have that weakness.
Right.
But as a Christian, you submit to Christ and you groom yourself in Christ. You allow God to control that carnal nature in you, and then it suppresses it.
Right.
And then God tells you what to do and what not to do. And I don't think when you give your life to Christ and you've really given up to Christ, all this will be a weakness in you. You might think of it, you might even imagine it, but by the grace of God, it will be hard for you to put it into practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elder. Pastor, I'll come to you. I'll obviously take your general take on the story. What came to mind when you read the story? But my specific question to you would be red flags. Let's talk about red flags. Why do we ignore the things we see? Clearly, you saw this man was already cheating, flirting with your friends, saying inappropriate things. You saw it before the marriage happened. And you even asked him and he said, oh, you know what? This is the way of a single man. And when I get married, I will stop. Why do we clearly see the danger, yet we walk through it, and immediately we get into marriage, we are wondering why the person is not changing? Pastor, I think you're muted. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, there are so many fundamental issues with the question. And this is something that I think I need to begin with. The first issue that I have with this scenario is what you brought up in terms of ignoring the red flag. Studies have shown that about 80% of marriages that breaks down before the wedding day. That simply means that there are signs indicating that the marriage is not going to work before even the wedding. However, we tend to ignore those signs. That is why we have a saying that love is blind. And I always say that if you open your eyes, you can see. So don't sit down and say that love is blind. Whilst the red flags are there, and you intentionally ignore them, hoping that, everything will be all right. It doesn't work like that. If you see red flags, run for your life.
Yeah.
That is my first point in terms of ignoring those important issues. There was another issue that I want to pick up.
Yeah.
The lady said when she saw that she raised the issue with him, and he said, he's going to change. The reality is, we don't marry people to change them. Marriage is not about change, it's about acceptance.
Right.
So if you see something that you cannot accept, then I would say run for your life. Because you cannot even change yourself. Not to think of changing somebody. So if you met a guy and this guy is being chronic cheater, according to you, and you saw everything happening and you went into this marriage with the expectation that this person is going to change, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So I believe that she made a big mistake of going ahead with this marriage because everything was fundamentally wrong. Let me move on to my third point. And my third point has to do with the mother. I believe that the mother let her down because you cannot give such a counsel to your child to say that all men are the same. It's completely wrong. And sometimes cultural issues comes in here where within our Ghanaian context, we see marriage as everything. But I want to say that it's best for you to be single and be happy than to be in such a relationship. And this lady has found herself in a very serious situation that I hope at the end of this discussion, we will be able to come up with ideas that may help her if possible.
I hope so too, Pastor. But before I go to Esther, my last question to you would be, is every man a cheat?
The answer to that question is no. The Bible makes it clear. Yes, there is a propensity for that. There is. And as my fellow panelists explained earlier, that we have that desire in us as men. However, the Bible talks about self-control. So you have to be intentional, you have to be deliberate, that this is what I'm going to do. An example of this, if you look at the story of Joseph, Joseph purposed in his heart and said, how can I sin against my God? So it's something that you have to be intentional. And as we are saying, women are also the same. Nowadays, women cheat more than even men. Is it justifiable? No. So my answer to that is not.
Right. Thank you so much, Pastor. Esther, coming to you. Obviously, your general take on the story. And then I would ask red flags. Women, we are very typical of seeing the things as clear as daylight. We see it so clear, we see the issues, and yet we go in with the hope that this person will change. We go in with the desire that, they will see their wrong ways and do better. And there's this thing with us with regards to ego, where we feel as if we will be the ones to change him. We'll be the one to make him this new person. We do that. Women do that. So I'll ask you your general take on the story and then your take on red flags. Why do you think we still walk into danger? We see it. Nobody is hiding it from us. And yet we convince ourselves that, oh, after marriage, things will change. Why do you think we do that?
Okay, good evening once more, Evie. All right, so my general take on this issue is that the man is not just a cheat. He plays a Casanova. Because he wants everything in skirts. And this is something that he has done, is the character leading to be a habit. So it is now his habit. There is no way you are going to change this kind of man when you don't have the heart to. It's very difficult to change someone, especially with this kind of character. He has done it several times. You have seen it. How are you going to change this person? He has lived his life for more than 30 years with such a habit. And you want to use just a few months or just a year to change him. This is not possible. So what I say is that this woman is married to a real Casanova, a real cheat. She saw the red flags. And sometimes the reason why we see these red flags and we ignore, one, what I've seen is maybe age of the women.
Okay.
And if women are above 30, their friends are getting married and all that, they also feel pressured to get married. So due to that, they become blind to the red flags. Because they think that if I should let this man go, when again do I get another person, look at him, study him, and get married? So most of the time is the age and the pressure from peers and family that will push this woman to forget or look beyond the red flags.
Right.
I hope you're getting it.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. That's why we just ignore all these things. But she knows definitely that this is a real problem that I have to face. There is a saying that goes in the tree that our rear is not a draw for a Jamai. Yes. There's no way you can say that when I get married, I'm going to change. No. When you get married, it's the same thing you are doing. It's just a person in your life.
Right.
You have just upgraded from being a single person to a married man. Are you going to have sex with your wife every day? No.
No.
So why are you saying that when I get married, I'll stick to you and then forget the other women? If it's your habit, you still do it. So whatever you were doing during your single life, that is what you move from to being married.
That's true.
If you become a better version of yourself when you get married, because now you're living with somebody, you have to cope with all the behaviors and the characters that we have built up from years. So the woman saw it.
Yeah, she did.
She saw it. So it's not like she thought the man would change, but maybe the age and also how long they have dated. Sometimes you date for so long that at the end you think that you will lose when you lose this man. I've dated this guy for 3 years, 4 years, and I'm seeing the red flags. How do I move into a new relationship? Some don't have hearts to move into that, to move out of this relationship. It's the same with abusive marriage. So she saw it, but she was just, and I wouldn't say she got blinded, but she has her own reasons why she just left it that way and then got married to the man. And the mother didn't help at all.
I know,
Not
right?
at all. Maybe her mom is also in that kind of marriage. That is why she also felt that it's okay, he will change and all that.
Oh, this is sad. This is sad. But Elder, I would ask you again about the red flags. Why do we do that? It's like God is showing you signs, but he says, as for me, I'll walk through this thing. It's clear. You know, people will meet people that are disrespectful. You know, somebody has hit them once, twice, and then they say, oh, I'm sorry, this won't happen in marriage. And we believe it. We believe it and say, oh, it won't happen. Why do we do this to ourselves?
It's quite unfortunate, but there are motivating factors. Yes, and one is, this is real talk, so we need to be saying real,
Yes.
Premarital sex. Yes. You saw the guy, you've not even known him yet. You give yourself to him.
Yeah.
Not one, not twice, continuous, cohabiting. So you have locked yourself already.
Yeah.
So going out is difficult. I've given him myself, what else? That is one.
True.
And then the second one, material things. Sorry to say, women like money. Women like material things. So when she sees that there's money, maybe car, good work, that pays well, and the man has his house, home, and all that. Let me keep quiet and enjoy. So that is also another one. So it's a whole lot. And there's one thing is prestige. Prestige. Women also like guys who are popular, celebrities and all that. So even if you are being abused, let me keep quiet and enjoy all those things. And they keep saying that I love him. I love him. He can give me good sex. Yes. So that thing is locked and all that. And people too invest so much into the relationship in terms of money, time, resources. So leaving it is like a bad debt. So let me stay.
Right.
Maybe in future I can get it back. So it's kind of a problem to the youth of today. And then I think we have solutions to it as and when we go along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will definitely try and help it as and when we go along. I want us to go for a quick break.
Okay.
When we do come back, we'll look at the comment her mother made.
Okay.
Why she had to tell her daughter that, oh, men, dear, they have wandering eyes. He will always come back to you. And then we'll also look at, the question of if she should leave this relationship with the fear of diseases. I mean, a man that is sleeping with almost everyone is a real cause for fear. And then we'll also give her our final advice as to what she should do. And even caution the man as to how to change his ways. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk.
Hello, Pathfinders. Are you ready? The Pathfinder Campori 2022 is here. It's just at the corner. Are you ready? Have you packed your backpack? I am already in my t-shirt, ready to meet you at Valley View University, where this Campori is going to take place. I want to assure you, your friend, Jesus Christ, is ready to receive you and to fellowship with you. I cannot wait to see you. Let's go, Pathfinders. Let's go and have fun. Let's go and pray. Let's go and enjoy ourselves. I hope to see you there.
Do you have questions on any of our fundamental beliefs? Don't hesitate to contact the Bible Answers team for help. We'll provide you with answers based on the Holy Word of God.
Dear friend, that is exactly what the Bible Answers program is all about. To teach, educate, and empower you so you can be agents of light in a dark world where falsehood abounds.
I invite you to join the Bible Answers program on Hope Channel Ghana, Sundays 2:00 p.m. and your life will never be the same.
welcome back from that quick break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie. Joining me in the studio, I have Elder Webster Antiboche. I also have Pastor Samuel Apia joining me all the way from the States, and Esther Forsen, who is also joining me from Techiman. We have been talking about this lady that sent in her story. She's worried that her womanizing husband will eventually give her a deadly disease because, according to her, they've been married for less than a year, and this man likes everything in a skirt. You know, he flirts in front of her with even her friends, and she obviously saw this when they were dating or courting, and she complained, and he said, oh, after marriage I'll change, and obviously he hasn't. And her mother also keeps telling her that, oh, every man has a wandering eye, and that she shouldn't nag because that is what will bring him home to her after he does whatever he wants to do outside. And so she wants to know if she should leave because she's first of all worried of getting a disease. They don't have any children yet, and so she thinks that will make leaving relatively easy. And before we continue with the discussion, I want to read some of our comments so that we can all have a holistic conversation. This one is from Jemima Oponefrie, who says, threatened with divorce. All the efforts to divorce under a year, though he hasn't changed. He is behaving as you knew him. We should know we are not Jesus to be changing people if you don't like who they are. Ernestina Kanga says, don't hesitate, leave. Thinking he will stop. Big no, leave at once. Even if there were children, still do not consider. Yes, leave. Patrick says, it is marriage we are talking about here and not boyfriend or girlfriend relationship. If separation, then fine, but divorce, how? Do you know what it takes to get married? That is why you have to know the person well before you step in. She saw the red flag but didn't pay attention, thinking that he will stop. You can't change any person unless God, dear. Chum Comfort says, this is not a decision to dissolve the marriage. Human's character can only be changed by God, and he know he is a womanizer and you got married. My confused sister, stay in the marriage till death sets you part. Okay, let him flirt around and continue praying for him. He will change by good attitude towards him. We pay bad people with good deeds. May God help you. I see. Lord Kusi Samuel says, it's virtually rains everywhere. Don't leave because he's cheating. You shall regret bitterly. Less than a year. He needs more time to change from his old ways. Help him and mold him to your expectations. But to do this, master good talks with him, patience, daily morning family devotion, as he shall be meditating the words of God shared. Wow, interesting. Okay. Albert Boa says, you made the first mistake by getting married to him thinking he will change. He has no sanity. Let no pastor advise you to stay. Run for your dear life. Abuse in any form should not be tolerated in marriage. Okay. Richard Amwako says, I agree with you, my sister. Imagine he was the one at the receiving end. You know how the story would be told and how you would have been portrayed. Hashtag YOLO. That is you live only once. You live, yeah. Isaac Crusader says, run for your life because the Bible supports such divorce through fornication. Okay, this one is from Nana Usubempa, who says, Ellen White writes, weigh every sentiment and watch every development of character in the one with whom you think to link your life destiny. The step you are about to take is one of the most important in your life and should not be taken hastily. While you may love, do not love blindly. Okay. Most men and women have acted in entering the marriage relationship as though the only question for them to settle was whether they loved each other. But they should realize that a responsibility rests upon them in marriage relationship farther than this. They should consider whether their offspring will possess physical health and mental and moral strength. But few have moved with high motives and with elevated considerations, which they could not lightly throw off, that society had claim upon them, that the weight of their family's influence would tell in their upward or downward scale. The choice of a life champion should be such as best to secure physical, mental, spiritual well-being for parents and for their children, such as will enable both parents and children to bless their fellow men and to honor their Creator. Okay. Rosemont says, this woman, Pa, who told you marriage is an antidote for fornication. You can help him by praying for him. He also needs to be cancelled. Okay, so I see some people saying stay, some people saying leave, and obviously people trying to give her solutions on how to deal with this. But coming back to the discussion, Elder, her mother's advice. Her mother clearly told her, you know what, sit in it. Every man is like that. He will only come back to you if you are not nagging him and worrying him. Sometimes the advice we hear from parents may not necessarily be good for us. And as children, when they always say, oh, listen to your parents, obey your parents, we do the mistake of listening to what they are saying. But did her mother fail her with that comment of every man has a wandering eye?
Well, in a way, I would say that phrase, wandering eyes, to me is relative.
Okay.
Very relative, because every person has a wandering eye, depending on what you're doing. So you're having a wandering eye for what? Is it for information, for safety? I am an engineer.
Right.
Anywhere I enter, I have a wandering eye for my safety. When I entered this studio, I was looking for fire extinguisher. Yes, but so if you see me looking around, I have why it's for safety.
Right.
Yes. So it depends on what somebody is looking for, whether good or bad. So I'm a preacher, I'm a content creator, I'm a writer. When I see a lady dressed inappropriate and she becomes a content for me, right? My wife is with me. What I will do is I will invite my wife, sweetie, see, then we all watch it together.
Okay.
So that you will not hurt her, and you have your clear mind to have your content, for your preaching, for whatever you want to do. You know, women are so wonderful creatures, and I love them. You know, every wife looks at a husband when he is watching a woman. Yes, she will not look at the woman, but she will look at the wife. And if it becomes too long, it's either she will hit you or call you. What are you looking to? You know, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
You know, so to save the situation and not making her feel bad or not understanding you, invite her. Sweetie, see, let's watch it together. If you have a clear conscience, invite her to watch together.
Right.
And the question is, why are you watching? You are married. Why are you watching around just to worry your feelings, worry your understanding? So here, I think the woman was like, keep quiet and enjoy. Keep quiet and enjoy. All men are like, do you know how much I've suffered in the hands of your father? So, you know, keep quiet and enjoy. So to me, it wasn't a good advice, but we can still take something out of it as a way of taking sense in it, as in helping her to understand the carnal nature of a man or men. As in, men have that weaknesses. They have that tendencies. So if you know his weakness, help him.
I see.
Help him. Is there any way you can help your husband when he's cheating? For all you know, he's running away from sexually transmitted diseases. So when the man is coming to him, she doesn't give in. She doesn't give in. And if you don't give in, he will go out. And there's one thing you must understand. Every chronic cheat loves sex. Because it's something he has harbored in him, and his body has accepted it, and he's programmed.
Right.
A day or two, he must have sex. So if you are telling him not to go out, you must be able to allow him anytime he wants you. Yeah. So you cannot just say don't go out, and you also close yourself and watching. He will surely go out. So it's about knowing the weaknesses and how to manage it. That will make you a good woman. Yeah, and not just listening around, but knowing the weaknesses. You know, we pastor said something. It's about accepting who you are marrying and working around, asking God to help you to manage his weaknesses. So the husband is managing the weakness of the woman, and vice versa, by the help of God. And I think we are good to go, and everything will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pastor, I'll come to you. She says she wants to threaten him with divorce, and she even said that they don't have any children, so leaving will be easier. Do you think she should make, do with her words and then tell him, you know what, you are not changing. This is obviously something that you've decided not to work on, and so I'm leaving. Do you think that she should act on her desire to leave and also her fear for catching any deadly disease? Do you think there are valid reasons for her to stand on and say that I am divorcing you because of this? Because the honest truth is that we don't know if this man is even protecting himself. We don't know if he is catching all sorts of diseases. And there are certain diseases that do not even need condom. You can catch it from kissing, like is it herpes? And these are not curable. And so do you think that her fear is valid, that he's going to come and give me a deadly disease, may not even tell me he has it, probably will be taking care of himself, taking medicine because he knows he has it. Give it to me and I'll be living in ignorance of this and eventually find out and it's too late for me. Do you think that is good enough reason for her to tell her husband that it's been less than a year, but I can't do this anymore. Please go your way and let me go my way?
To drop some first here, because within the Ghanaian society, divorce is something that is a taboo. It's seen as no-go zone. No matter what, you shouldn't be go through divorce. You should stay in a relationship. However, I want to differ with that opinion to say that when somebody is in an abusive relationship, I will never suggest that this person stay in that relationship. The reason being that this is somebody that is chronic cheating and is not making any attempt to change. This is something that I want us to be clear on that. To say that if somebody is willing and admit their mistake and says that, well, this is my issue and I'm going to find a way to resolve it. I'm willing to seek counseling. I'm willing to do anything to support. I want you to support me so that we can work on this together. Elder made mention of it in terms of giving the person more when they need the chronic cheaters. Yes, but the issue is if somebody is a cheater, you can give it to them morning, afternoon, and evening, and they will still go and cheat. That is the bottom line of it. So to me, I believe that under such circumstances, they should begin with separation, where if they separate for some time, and if the man values the relationship, then he will make every effort to change his way. And I'm using the word change from him, not from the woman. Change his way because he values the relationship and he wants his wife back. And that effort should lead him to make some amends in his life. But if not, and he wants to remain in the same situation, then I believe it's wrong. And personally, I will not encourage this woman to stay in such a relationship. First, we are talking about the disease. We should look at the emotional trauma that she is going through, and it can affect her physically too. So if living in such a situation is not the ideal situation. She has made a mistake, and I know people may say, oh, the Bible says that. But the truth is, the Bible gives a guidelines in terms of the cause of divorce or what criteria that somebody can embark on that. And adultery is one of them. And I believe that under this circumstance, if the person is not willing to work on them, abuse in all forms in this situation, I would personally recommend separation, that they separate for some time. And if the man values the relationship, values his wife, he will make an effort to show that I respect you and I value you as a person, and I'm going to make an amend in my own life to get you back. And that is one way that they can restore that. Or if they want to stay together and he is willing to seek counseling, where he will be able to go through counseling process to make sure that he's seeking help, then you can say that this man is willing to work on it and I'm going to give him another chance. But staying in as it is now, I believe that she will be causing more harm than good because she is not helping in this situation. And if somebody feels comfortable and they see it as normal, they won't see any need for them to change in any way. And I believe that will not help. I just want to add that for young people listening to me today, I know things are changing. When we were growing up in Ghana years ago, when we were getting married, we did not seek for premarital counseling. But I believe it's very, very critical that before you get married, seek for God-fearing counselor who may be able to give you a very objective view, passionate view, so that they won't be partial. The advice that you got from the mother, the Bible says we should obey our parents, but the text does not say we should obey our parents. We've quoted this over and over. The text does not say we should obey our parents. The Bible says that we should obey our parents in the Lord. So if what our parents are telling us to do is not in the Lord, then I believe that you have every right to disobey them. And this is the example of such situation.
Right.
And when you seek for marital counseling, some of this red flag will come up and the counselor will be able to help you out to resolve some of these issues. I've had a situation where I have to turn couples away, and I said to them, give yourself time, because the guy was a smoker, though, and both of them were in the church, but the guy had a problem with smoking, and they had to give themselves almost a year before they came back. The guy was willing to have this woman, and because the woman stood up to say that I'm not accepting it, the guy stopped smoking because of that, and now they are married after having a break for 1 year.
Right. Thank you so much, Pastor. Esther, coming to you, I would ask, should this woman leave? I mean, she stated some really good reasons why she wants to leave. Her health is at stake here. And also, do you think this man can change? Do you think he can change at all? And if so, how can he be helped?
Okay, in my opinion, it's too early to leave. 1 year or less than 1 year is too early to leave. I think she should work on her marriage.
Okay.
She should work on her marriage. She saw it and she entered into it. So the best thing is to seek counsel. One, the man respect her. If he respects her, he wouldn't be doing this even in front of her. Okay, so she should seek counsel first and then see end. If she can help the man, she should.
Okay.
Because it's too less in a marriage for you to say that I'm leaving. That means as time goes on, if per chance this man changes, what did you do? You did nothing. Okay. The disease is there. You might contract some diseases. That is why you need to go and see a professional, a pastor, a doctor, or something. Let them talk to the man. Make an effort. Try and seek people that he respects so much that at least when they talk to him, he will be able to listen to them. And from there, you have to look at him closely. Give him what he wants. As the other was saying, let's try it. Because you can't just say, I'm leaving. You have endured it from the past, from the relationship. That was the time that you could have left easily. But he's married to you. For better, for worse, but that doesn't mean that the worst means you should go and die. She is dying emotionally and physically. But at least, I think something can be done.
Okay.
Something can be done. She should try and work on her man. That is, I'll say that is her cross. She should carry it, but with due diligence. At least we should seek counsel so that she doesn't break down in doing that. That is an older man we are talking about. This is not a small boy, okay? So she needs people who are learned to help her in this journey.
Right.
Pray affects, but you can't depend only on praying for him. She might have done that maybe within that 1 year, okay? But maybe it didn't work. Something has to be done for this man to change.
Right.
What is the problem? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Is it that you just want to sleep with any woman? Is it that you need sex too much? Fine, let's find a way of dealing with it. Are you ready to change for the marriage? Because when you do this and you have kids, this kind of things would be transferred to your kids. If you're able to sleep with my friends, why can't you sleep with my kids?
Oh my God.
So it's dangerous. Do you get it? So she has to work on her man first before anything else. If they have been married for years and she's been doing everything possible to bring the marriage back and it's not working, that is where, as Pastor said, they can go on separation and then see if anything will work. If the man values the marriage that he is in, he would change for her.
Right. Thank you so much, Esther. Elder, I'll come to you. Our time is fast spent, but I'll ask, should she leave? Do you think that she has like valid reasons to leave? And then, can this man be helped?
Yeah, thank you. What I say is she hasn't done enough.
Okay.
The letter, she hasn't done enough. She has not even started. Because the letter is 5 chapters. And in all the 5 chapters is lamenting, complaining, talking. All the 5 chapters. What she did was only one. And that was to tell her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the threatening, she is contemplating to threaten him.
Yes, she hasn't done it yet.
So she has done only one step to tell a mother. So it's like it's she knew it, and she's just watching it aloof, and she's done nothing to salvage the situation. So to me, a living now is not an option. She needs to work on the man. Marriage is work. Marriage is work. It's commitment. It's time. It's sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yes. And once you're married, you are married. And so you have to also accept whatever it brings and work on it. Like your marriage vow says, for better, for worse. Yeah. So you have to work on it. And a way to work on it is to, one, accept that this is my cross, as my sister said. And 2, seek for counseling. You understand? And let you know, a chronic cheater is not a lost case. He can be changed. Yes, he can be changed. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
So with a dint of solid hard work, underlined, solid hard work, and faith in Christ, this guy can be changed. Yeah. So per the letter, limiting herself per the letter, she didn't say what she did to help the guy. She didn't. I don't know if you can help me out.
No,
she didn't.
That's what she
yes.
was.
So at least she should have told us, I did this, she's not changing. I did that, she's not changing. I did that. But only complaining to your mother and for your mother to also pollute you, that way I think it's not a solution.
Yeah.
So she should start doing something like helping him out and then counseling and 1 or 2 things that I think maybe you will come on it.
Yeah, I think you should give your final words because we have like just 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. So that guy should rather help himself first, as Pastor said. He should work on himself because the woman has something to do anyway, but it will come from him, from within. So he should first have his connection with God intact, and then also try to cut all the ties with his exes and the woman he is dating, and also stop, recruiting new ones. Yes, as in relationships.
Yeah.
And then also he should focus on his wife, his family, and then also church activities. He should keep himself busy with positive things. Yeah. And then throw all those carnal nature away. He should do things that will suppress the carnal nature in him by reading the Bible, going to gym and all that. It will help. Not just to sit aloof for somebody to come and help you. You have to also help yourself.
Yeah.
And the wife too has a lot to do to help.
True. And
stop the complaining. I see her report, her letter as complaint. The talking is too much. She talks too much. 5 chapters and it's 5 paragraphs and it's complaint throughout. It's bad. Yeah. So she should start doing something and stop the complaint.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Pastor, quickly, your final words.
Yeah, I'm sorry to differ on this topic.
Sure.
I believe that we are making this woman to be the victim in this case now, because if you look at the story, it's a cry for help. She's not complaining. It's a cry for help. And the man needs to be responsible for his own behavior. So this poor lady finds herself in this situation because he made a bad judgment. And we are looking at her and what she can do to help the man. But the question is, those men who possess those characters, they have some attributes. They can be very intimidating. If you tell your pastor, I'm going to divorce you, there's a lot that they do to control you, So for her to put it in this way, we may not understand the whole story of what she is going through.
Yeah.
However, I personally see this letter to be a cry for help. And I believe that the onus is not on her, it's on him, where he needs to look at himself and possibly look at a way of changing his life. But for us to blame the woman to say that she is not doing enough, she did not mention what she has done, I strongly believe that that is wrong. Okay. What she has gone through is a lot. And it's time for her to stand up and say, I'm not accepting this anymore. And this is my personal belief. Because I know many people are going through such situations, and because of culture, because of tradition, divorce is not accepted in the church, divorce is not, and I know people will be disappointed to hear this coming from me as a pastor. Yes, I strongly believe that divorce is not the appropriate way. It's wrong. However, there comes a time where we need to be realistic and face the reality of life. And I believe that at this point in time, this lady has a very difficult decision to make.
Thank you so much, Pastor. And this is Real Talk. So having a different opinion is always welcomed. Always welcomed. Esther, your final words for this couple, very quickly, please.
I would also say that marriage is the only school that we take certificates before we enter this school. You don't know what you are going to meet. But this is a situation that the woman saw most of the things that she will meet in the school, and she accepted to take the certificate. So she has work to do. It's too early to quit.
Okay.
She should work on her marriage.
Okay.
And I believe it can be done. She can make it. It's possible. But after some time, and she thinks that I've done enough work, I can't do it anymore, nobody will force her to live in this marriage. She can divorce. That is it.
Thank you so much. I want to quickly pick some comments before we go. This one is from Esther, Mrs. Esther Poko-Ajiman, who says, first, the Bible gives adultery as a reason to divorce, and so, my dear lady, you have every right to leave this marriage. Second, AIDS is real, and I can't emphasize this enough. As a researcher in sexual and reproductive health, I have had true encounters with women who were innocently infected by their womanizing husbands. The sad part of this is that several of them had lost their spouses and were dealing with a double burden of infection and single parenthood. Whilst you prepare for the divorce, insist on a condom if you think your husband is too irresistible. Okay, let me pick a few more and then we can go. So this one is from Sethina Ifo Arthur, who says, red flag, red flag, red flag. Red means stop. Let's advise ourselves. Okay. Let me quickly pick a few more. Today the comments are a lot, so I'm trying to go through as many as I can. Okay, so Mukaso says, then how do you pass a patience test? Sometimes we experience what we offer out of ourselves because we forget that two faces only exist on one coin and not on two coins. Solve one problem now and your victory will be guaranteed. Run away from one of them and heap many more excuses to yourself when faced with many more problems. I see. I guess that's a riddle for the woman to decipher and understand. Let me see. Okay, the comments are just a lot. Brainy Awuni says, a cheat is a cheat. Marry him or her will change nothing. In this case, he's not just a cheat, but a chronic cheat according to your submission. Run for your life, dear, because this is either the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning. Thank you guys so much for your comments. Thank you so much to my panelists. Elder Webster, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Pastor Apia, thank you so much. And Esther, thank you so much for joining us. God richly bless you for your comments and for your inspiring words to this couple. I hope they listened, and their man especially. I hope you heard everything that was said. The work begins with you. So please, please, please do the work. And the only thing I have to say has to do with the red flags again. Sometimes these things happen, we see it. People do things to us. They come and then they act as if they've changed. They apologize. They do all the things they have to do. They go back and do it again, come back, do it again, come back. When a person shows you who they are, please believe it. That is who they truly are. And this is something Oprah says. If he's done it, he'll keep doing it, unless by the grace of God and a man with a committed heart to change. So if you're not finding these two ingredients in the person, then this is recipe for disaster. But then I hope you pray. I hope you go and seek for counseling. I hope the man does what he has to do. But if at the end of the day your life is threatened and you think leaving is what will help you, I think that you can go ahead and save yourself from all this problems. But please, again, let's be careful when we enter into relationships, because some of these things can be avoided even before the marriage. You don't have to go through all this in marriage. You see, you observe, it won't work for you, you leave. See, marriage is not tied to your salvation, so please, let's not stress ourselves with these things. And before we go, Hope TV is 4 years old. I can't believe it. It was almost as if just yesterday, but we are 4 years old. And to thank God, we are having a worship and praise session on the 6th of August, 6 p.m. Inspirational Choral will be leading us to worship and praise God. And Pastor Sewa will be our host. Please join us. Let's thank God for how far He's brought us. We've all been in the boat together with your support, and Hope TV is doing so well. And so thank you so much for your support. Join us on the 6th of August, 6 p.m. sharp, to thank God for all the wonderful things He keeps giving us and doing in our lives. To my amazing panelists, thank you once again. To my audience, thank you for always tuning in. We'll be back same time next week with yet another exciting story. And please remember, you can also send your story to us. My name remains Evie, and please do enjoy the rest of the content on Hope TV Ghana.